Right, let's just check it. Let's just start this thing, man. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes? Welcome back to your potentially favorite Nigerian podcast. Bear with me, your host, General Prime. I hope everybody had a fantastic week and we've rested enough to like get ready for the next one, man. Cause like shit never stops coming. It never stops coming. As in, I turned on this record. As in, I started like I just made up my setup, right? Like about 2 hours ago, and I was just procrastinating, like just wasting my time watching um what was it called, shorts on YouTube, just just basically procrastinating and knowing fully well that I'm supposed to like make an episode today, knowing fully well that I'm supposed to like put out content today. I was just like putting it aside. Do you understand? And I already like rolled up one really nice blunt that like helped me, that like I always use, like I've come to terms with the fact that, and I've come to admit that um I use weed as sort of a how what's the word I used that time? I use weed as sort of like a performance enhancement drug. Do you understand? Not in a bad way, but in a good way. Because like whenever I smoke, I'm more alive. Everything tastes better. Everything smells better. My mind is like a bit more open. I'm able to like think more, and I'm just a lot more outside of myself, or like outside of my usual self. And so I use it to like make myself freer when I'm making these episodes, and they are more fun when I make them this way. So I've just come to terms with the fact that weed is like my fucking enhancement drugs. Enhancement drug. Yeah, I got that one right. So I already like rolled a nice blunt that I was going to smoke while doing the podcast, and it's already finished, and I'm too like stoned to like do another one. I know I'm supposed to like have extra for like, but I don't know, man. So, but anyway, I've been procrastinating and like looking for the right moment to start the podcast, and I don't think I can wait anymore because I just need to like talk about the things that I was thinking about throughout the week. So because right now, even though my podcast is this like chill podcast where I just like say things off the top of my head, I still have to like think. There's still a lot of things that I think about. Like the mind is um this constant data collecting machine, and no, it doesn't even like harvest data from the present. It can harvest data from the past. It can harvest data from the future, and that's where imaginations come from. So like the brain never stops like functioning until the inevitability of its end or something. But yeah, you always have to like keep thinking about stuff. So I always have to keep thinking about stuff. So what has been bothering me this week is like, and then I had to like write it down, because like if I don't write it down, I mean, I learned recently that, as in podcasting, you don't just no no you don't just have to like do things, or should I say just say things based off of memory. You have to like paint things down. You have to like pen things down so that you can be able to like write them. You can be able to like go back to them and then talk about them. But also, um when you're thinking about them, like initially, like for example, now there's this thought that I had at work, and I was thinking of it in my head, and the way I was thinking about it was like it made so much sense. The way I was like phrasing sentences, and was just like saying it in my head, it made a lot of sense. And so everybody knows that the way, sometimes most of the times actually, sometimes when we say things, and let me say, I don't know, this I'm sure happens mostly to introverts, and so I'm an introvert. Like, I don't think it happens to extroverts, because extroverts will just like blunt, as in, is it what is it called, blunt, not blunt, fucking, just say things out. I've forgotten the word, man. I've forgotten the word I was supposed to use. Um, yeah, extroverts will just like say things, right? We just say their mind, but we introverts, when we want to like say something, we have to like think it over and over and over again to make sure that we say it in the right way, to make sure that we say it in like the correct way, to make sure we don't upset anybody. Do you understand? So this is how we introverts like do things in our head. And me, I'm an extreme introvert, and so before I say things, before I do things, I have to like analyze and like think of every possible outcome of it in every direction ever. So yeah, so when we think of things in our heads, we introverts mostly, um and then we end up at want we end up saying them. They're not going to sound the same way, and they're not going to feel the same way we said them. Like it, I'm sure everybody like has this experience that they're not going to feel the same way or like sound the same way. Do you understand? Like they're not going to carry the as in they're not going to be the same. That's basically what I'm saying. So I was not thinking about, since we have these problems now, like we have these problems where we cannot be able to say the things as well as say things out as well as we said them in our heads. It's like, okay, how can we solve this problem? So what if there was like a the way I came with the problem, the solution I came up with is like, what if there is like a, a technology, right? Like a technology that can help you like store the thoughts in your brain, and then like, as in, what if there was a technology that we developed, right, that can help someone that whenever wants to sleep? Because I don't know about you. I know I'm like this. I'm not supposed to be like going off on random tangents like this because apparently people don't like it. So, but let me just like say, when let me just go off on this particular short tangent. I won't go too far. Um, I don't know about anybody else, but my dreams, the dreams I have when I sleep, they're like kind of. I know there are sometimes like we get too stressed and maybe apprehensive and like anxious of whatever might happen in the future, and then we take those worries to bed, and then when we sleep they come back as like they manifest as dreams, and like, let me say, bad dreams or stuff like that. But for the most part, my dreams are like like one of the best movies that you my dreams are like one of the best movies that anybody will ever watch. Like, actually, not like, mostly action and horror. Mostly action and horror. That is just what my dreams are like. And they're so like, how will I put it, intense, and they're so like realistic, and like as if I'm there. Do you understand? Like as if I'm experiencing, like when I'm falling down, I can really feel like I'm falling down. Like when I'm being shot at, I can really feel like I'm being shot at. Do you understand? Like they're so extreme and so stimulating, and it's like I'm actually being transported to like another world. Anyway, I took like a 2 minute break to like roll another blunt. So what was I talking about? Yeah, I was talking about dreams and how intense my dreams are. Like, mostly my dreams are usually like either like very interesting horror movies, or like I'm in a very intense, like action packed, fucking crazy as um gun shootout, or like war scene or something like that. I just usually crazy. So but now these dreams, like these spectacular dreams, these adventures that I go on like in my dreams, like these craziest adventures I go on in my dreams. There's no way I can share them with the world because they are crazy. Like, you don't understand the kind of monsters I fight in my dreams, the kind of like gun battles, the kind of this is not even John Wick, like the kind of like craziest things I do in my dreams, like kind of fucking adventures. Like, even people like me, I can go to battle with like someone like um I think I've had a dream where I was like in a team with Elon Musk. What is the name of this woman with fucking the owner of Goop? what is that fucking name? Like she was in Iron Man, Iron Man's wife now, Gwyneth Paltrow. Like yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow. So I was in a like they were my squad mates. They were my squad mates. Gwyneth Paltrow, fucking Elon Musk, and what is his name? Bill Gates. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on in that dream, but I know that we're like in a fierce, mad gun battle. I don't know where we are trying to like extract to. Like we're just like enemies are chasing us left and right, and, Jesus. And we're just like shooting and like jumping off buildings, and bro, it was crazy. Just imagine like. Just imagine. I don't know if you've seen this movie. If you've seen, if anybody has, if you guys have seen the movie Fury, right? Just imagine that last battle, and just imagine me and Elon Musk and Gwyneth Paltrow and Bill Gates just there, just shooting people. God damn. So these are the kind of like mad dreams I have, um, and the fact that I am unable to share them with the world, like for people, for people, for people to actually. Wow. Wow. So like for people to actually set their eyes on what goes on in my head. I just wonder in awe. I just wonder in awe at what goes on in my head. So the fact that I cannot be able to share that with people, it saddens me. And um I was not thinking about like what if there's a technology that we can just like plug in our brains when we want to like sleep, and um it will like record the dreams that we have. It will like record whatever is going on in the brain, and like visually, and you can like project it visually so that other people can see it. Do you understand? That would be mad. These were like how bro, this is like a 12-minute tangent. What the fuck? As in, wouldn't that be crazy that we can be able to we can be able to not only as in physically as we are right now express ourselves, we can also, should I say neurologically express ourselves. Like basically we can read minds. And I don't know if you guys have heard about this Neuralink that Elon Musk usually talks about, that we are going to get to a point where humans will be so technologically advanced that we won't even like need mouths anymore to speak, because we'll be able to read each other's minds, and we'll like know everything, because we our brains will be connected to like the fucking internet. And so basically we are going to be human chat GTPs, just walking around carrying knowledge, as in just being able to like just having the ability to, in fact we'll be all knowing. Basically we'll be all knowing beings. So I don't know where I was going with this, but it just kind of, as in, I just feel like that kind of technology, not the kind of, not the version of it that will. I don't even want to be God. Do you understand? Like I want to be human. Like I don't want to be. I know it's kind of feels, as in, I don't know. People feel like they want that power. Do you understand? I understand that. I understand that the need for power is like, as in, it's enchanting. You understand? But at the end of the day, you have to look at it from another angle. Like, do you, really as in, why am I being so needy of this? Like, I have to think of. I don't want this kind of power. Do you understand? Like the way we are going now, the way we humans are going now, like we're getting to the point where the power that we're seeking is a destructive power. I know I always like talk about this thing every time. I know every time when I talk about stuff like this, it always comes back to this. Bruh, it doesn't make any sense. Well, let me just go back to what I was saying before. I wish we had that kind of technology where we can use it to like, and it can even kind of be commercialized. Do you understand? People, as in, people would like want to do things that will people want to like be more active in a way that will infect their dreams, so that the outcome of their dreams will be like basically as in, how will I put it, marketable basically. Exactly, so the outcome of their dream to be marketable, like when people want to like go on more adventures, people want to like read more books, people want to like consume more information and know more things and do more things, so that when they sleep, the dreams that they're going to have when it's projected, it will be so interesting that it will sell, basically, as in the movies that they're going to project will be so interesting and so intriguing to us that are watching it. It's like it will be a new kind of theater. Do you understand? It will be a new kind of media. It will be a new kind of Hollywood. Just imagine neurological Hollywood, where you're, as we have gotten to the point technologically where we no longer have celebrities, because like people come together and then they make this amazing movie, and then there are people in the movies that are, the unique characters, and they have their own character arcs and stuff like that, and then at the end of the day, something good happens or something tragic happens, and then we come to relate to those characters in the movies, and then at the end fall in love with the people that portrayed them, and that's how they become celebrities. Do you understand? So we're going to get to a point in the future where fucking um celebrities would no longer be those groups of people, like these actors that come together to make one movie. Celebrities would be individuals that projects to the society, or to people, to consumers, basically, the best movies that they can come up with in their heads. Like we will no longer even have books, because books take time to write. You understand? Books take time to write. If you want to like write a story, just imagine. Hold on. Just imagine the entire Game of Thrones series, right? Just imagine the entire Game of Thrones series. I'm sorry about that. I cannot even fathom how long it must have taken him to, first of all, like it must have taken George R. R. Martins to like first of all conceptualize everything in his head before he even got to the point where he must have had enough courage to want to start penning them down, as like not even just scribbles, and then drafting, and then maybe a page or a chapter here or there, and then like all the whole series of Game of Thrones, like all the whole series of Game of Thrones, one person wrote it. It came from his head, like it came from his mind. You understand? It came from his mind, and that must have taken him a shit ton of time to do. I mean, the man is fucking fat and old. Like you have to imagine, you have to imagine how much sitting down he had to do, and how much like what's it called, force feeding himself he had to like undergo just to like push out content like that. You understand? And it must have taken him a lot of time. Now, imagine a technology where somebody as creative as George R. R. Martins does not have to like sit down for years and years to like push out story like that. Imagine that he could do it in one night. Imagine that he can have Game of Thrones level fucking. Imagine that you can have Game of Thrones level storytelling. You can watch it, that kind of thing, every day, and every day is new, and every day is new. Like there, every day it surprises you, like different stories, different endless stories, just because it comes from the mind of one intelligent person, and you can have that kind of technology every fucking day. Do you understand? Like, where am I? What am I saying? I don't know. But just imagine that kind of technology where we can be able to basically read each other's minds. The kind of chaos. First of all, no, it will be chaotic because you see, you know how in movies there always there are movies where some people have like superpowers, and then they can some people can, like, basically people have superpowers, right? Do you know that I'm kind of glad that we humans don't have superpowers, because with superpowers, like imagine that we humans have superpowers, right? Imagine that there are people that can be able to fly, people that have tough skin, people that can read minds, people that can breathe fire, people that can breathe ice, like literally realistic, like biological. Like for example, now there's this show I'm watching called, what's the name of the fucking show? Power, the Power, right? Where girls develop new abilities in their chests, and the abilities to be able to control electricity and like just manipulate electricity, and the show is crazy, bro. The show is mad. First of all, I know the show is like all it looks like it's like this feminist, preachy, empowerist kind of dumbass kind of show, but actually the writing is deep, the writing is fleshy, the writing is like it's actually brilliant, and the show is mad. I'm not even going to lie. So that's the show I've been watching recently. I've been hooked on it, and in the show, women, women, developed a power where they could be able to like control electricity. So that, and it's actually, and it's and the as in the writing is done in such a way that everything looks realistic. Like there are some women that don't even know how to use the powers. There are some women that don't even want the powers because of how scary it is. There are some women that oppose having the powers. There's some women that have the powers and use it for evil. There's some women that have the powers and use it for good. There's some women that have the powers that have it more than others, and they use it to, like there's this one girl in the show where she can use it to like bring things back to life, bring animals back to life. She can use it to read people's minds. She can use it to like control people. She can use it to like heal people. She's basically Jesus in the show. You understand? And it's all done in a way that is grounded, and it's all done in a way that is like fleshed out and intelligent and stuff and realistic. So what if we lived in that kind of world where everybody was like that, not just women, and um we still had every other aspect, and we still had every other um character that we have and habits that we have, and that we still have everything. Just imagine us right now in this world, exactly as the world is, like exactly as it is now. Like we are currently at the brink of war, third world war and the nuclear war. There's chaos everywhere, there's disease everywhere, there's inflation, everything's just getting expensive, everything's just getting like more difficult. People are suffering more and more. The rich is still getting richer more than the poor is even getting, as in everything is just in chaos right now, exactly as the world is right now. As you're listening to this, imagine that, right? And then imagine that everybody in this world had superpowers. Like there's no, like there are some TV shows where it will be the story of where everybody has superpowers, but then there's one person that does not have it, and then she has to like what is the name of this Disney movie? Encanto. Like I know everybody has seen the movie. Is it Encanto or Enchanto? I don't know, man. So in the movie, we all know that the girl does not, like the main character does not have like any superpowers, and all her siblings too. So, but it's not going to be like that in real life. Like literally, from the poorest person to the richest person, from the best person to the worst person. Like even Adolf Hitler has fucking superpowers. You understand? Even fucking Putin and Vladimir Putin has superpowers. Like literally, just imagine the boys. But everybody, you understand? Everybody has superpowers. Now, now imagine that in that world, somebody like Vladimir Putin had, like, he's able to read minds, and he's like basically Professor X, and he's Martian Man. Just imagine a fusion between Professor X and Martian Manhunter. Like, just imagine both of them fused together, and that's Vladimir Putin, like the fucking president of Russia. Imagine the kind of world that would be, right? But basically nothing lasts forever, and maybe he's going to find a way to like make himself immortal or something like that. But imagine that it's as natural as we are right now, and people still die, and people, like, the catch 22 of the whole thing is that, yeah, everybody's going to have superpowers, but nobody's going to be immortal. Everybody's going to die, even though like your flash, even though your skin, you have like bulletproof skin. At the end of the day, everybody's going to die. You understand? That is like the whole catch 22 of the whole thing. So at the end of the day, fucking Vladimir Putin with all his powers, he dies, right? Imagine a world where people have superpowers and people are able to read minds. Like everybody is able to read minds. Like everybody knows everybody's secrets. Like everybody knows information about everything. Do you understand? Like everybody knows what has happened before, and how things are supposed to happen, and everybody just like nobody has any secrets, because because I already know. you understand? Like they are not, as in, if we live in a world where everybody is able to read minds, what is what is the eventual outcome of it? Is it going to be like if everybody, all of us, just suddenly got superpowers now and we're able to read each other's minds? Do you understand? Like we're able right now, just right now, as I'm talking to you now, there's some big explosion in the sky, and like some sprinkly things fall down and infect our our oxygen that we're breathing and goes into our brain, and everybody has this biological ability to be able to read minds, bro. And you know what, the next man that you call your friend, you know what, the next man that you call your brother, or you call your friend, or you call your, like, your co-worker, or somebody, or even your enemy self, like somebody you regard as your enemy, you now like look into his mind. I see that, oh, this person does not even have anything for me, or like this person does not even send me at all. And then someone that you now regard as like your tight man, like your friend, your best friend, bro. You now look into his mind for the first time. You now find out that, bro, is this what this guy is carrying in mind for me? Waiting I do, waiting be this. Bro, what did I do to you? You want to do this kind of thing to me? What did I do to you? Like, why you go carry this kind of thing for mind for me now? What did I do? Bro, it's going to be fucking mental. Like, everybody's able to, bro, the kind of secrets that come out, the kind of super story that will come out, oh boy, you go, yeah. Like, just imagine something there. This is going to be funny. Imagine that we are 8 billion people now in the whole world. Imagine that we're 8 billion people right now. And then this infection happens to everybody in the whole world. Everybody in the whole world. Except like people from Port Harcourt. Except like just people from Port Harcourt. Like just Port Harcourt, not even the entire River State, just Port Harcourt, go, just except for people like, so that we can watch what is happening. So you can like see what is going, like the kind of stories that you'll be hearing somebody's story, like it will be unbelievable. You'll be like, what is going on? Or like, imagine that it affects everybody except you, and now you have to be like the mediator of everything. Like you have to be the judge, and you have to like judge the whole case. Like imagine that you basically become God, and you know everything, and you know everybody's secret, and everybody has like basically shown you what they're capable of, and you've seen the whole movie and everything, and now you have to like start like judging them and stuff like that. The kind of things that you hear, the kind of unbelievable tales, the kind of details of old, as in that you hear, bro, your ears will bleed. Like you literally, for real. There's some kind of things that are so unbelievable that when you hear them, like literally, the ears are supposed to bleed. So my question now is, when everything has settled, like when you've mediated everything, when you've been the intercessor for every problem and everything has been balanced out and ruled out and fleshed out and like solved, all the problem has been solved, because it's going to be like, let me say, it's going to be as in pandemonium, it's going to be chaos for a very long time when everybody finds out that they can be able to read mind. And so like everybody's now like, okay, I know now that since I can read mind, that means this person also can read my mind. So I have to be like, in order for me to self-preserve, like at the end of the day, everything is all about self-preservation. So in order for me not to in order for me to in order for me to like self-preserve, like I have to like clear my mind, um as in for anybody that is going to look at it, and also I have to trust that also them too, they're going to have to also clear their mind, so that their own minds, so that they too can self-preserve. Do you understand? So is it going to get to a point where, because everybody does not want to get hot, and they know that for real this time around, there is a very high possibility of getting hot, because whatever intention you have in mind can be seen and can be perceived and can be read, do you understand, and understood, and then um reacted to, you understand? So since everybody knows that this is a possibility now, everybody want to try their best to have clear mind, so that nothing bad will happen to them. So but will it get to a point where people will do it so effortlessly that they'll now become peace, and everybody will now be able to finally understand themselves? Or will it get to a point where there'll be some like brute force people that become so powerful that they don't give a fuck what they don't give a fuck where what you have in mind about them? They're still going to do what they're going to do, because I mean, we won't have lost that ability yet, because there'll still be people like that, and so they'll just like come into your house and you can note you can see them with a big giant fucking axe, and you know that you can see it in their mind that they want to really actually kill you. So will it get to that point? And let me see. I'm just trying to be, should I say, the angel's advocate? I don't know. But if we get to that point, right, will it still flesh out to the point where, well, because at the end of the day, like I said before, in this my hypothetical world, everybody will still die at the end of the day, regardless of how powerful you are. Actually. So yeah, those people are going to die out naturally, and then maybe the world will now learn to like finally understand themselves, because everybody now has this ability to be able to read minds. And um well, and then there as in at the end of this story, what happens at the end of the story? There is world peace. Okay, then what next happens? And see, I don't think that this whole world peace thing is going to be achievable, because then what next now happens? Do you understand? What next now happens? Like everything, like what next now happens? Because we have to understand that war is a catalyst for progress, as horrible as it is. You understand? Um we have to go to war to innovate. Like we have to we have to go to war to be able to know what, as in, war is one of the war is one of the purest form of knowing what people think. You understand? So when you want to invade somebody, the way they're going to react to your invasion is going to make you know what they're thinking. So then you're going to have to counteract accordingly. And by doing that, you have to create new technology, you have to create new means of destruction, you have to create new means of um seeing things. You have to like create a whole new, so that's why tech, and then that requires money, and then that requires people to build them, and that also like requires money to pay those people to build them. And so we are also requires raw materials and stuff. And so this is what keeps the economy pushing, this is what keeps the economy going. So war is like a very war is a very great catalyst for progress. And war is necessary, whether we like it or not. We humans are not the only animals that go to war. Like there's this documentary I just finished watching on Netflix called it's called Chimp Empire, where these like two tribes of chimpanzees like have to go to war to like protect their territory and expand their territory and avenge the death of one of the chimpanzees that was killed. Ants also go to war, like sharks, dolphins go to war, seals, lions go to war. Like, do you understand? Like animals, humans are not the only humans are not the only animals that fucking go to war. Animals do too. Plants go to war. So you understand? And our planet basically is a chaotic planet, and it requires like it has to require life for it to flourish. So and for it's like a kind of like give me and I give you things. So I give you life and you give me life. Like the planet requires life for it to flourish. So war is necessary, as horrible as it might sound and as horrible as it might be. War is like war is extremely necessary. And war is so necessary, and should I say it's so important, or also, and also so kind of tricky with the way it looks. This is what I'm just imagining. It's kind of tricky with the way it looks, and it always looks like we get to a point where where we destroy ourselves for good this time around, and where there'll be like perpetual like destruction forever and ever. But we never really ever get to that point. Like we always get to the point, like we always get to the line. We're always pushing the edge. Do you understand? With the atomic bomb, which as in, if you look at all the wars that humans have fought all throughout history, like where there are always things, there are always new ways of destruction. Like they always invent new ways to like kill people. They always invent new ways to wipe people. Like I've not yet finished reading it, but I was just like going through, like, should I say, a summary of what is this book? This book about um Genghis Khan, right? And all his all his fucking victories. I'm not even going to I'm not even going to call them victories. His campaign, like when he went to when he wiped out most of Asia. You understand? And was even entering. I think he entered Germany also. I think he went as far as Germany. I don't know if I'm right, but I think I might be getting this wrong. Like he went as far as Germany. Genghis Khan was killing people. Like this guy was killing people. I don't think I'm wrong about the whole Germany thing, but in Asia, like most of Asia, like this guy was killing people. He's going from one country to another. He's going from one tribe to another, one village to another, just just wiping people out. At the same time, having like a ridiculous amount of sex. This guy was fucking a lot, bro. This guy was as in there's a is it I think it's in Korea or something like South Korea or not no maybe it's South Korea where and also in fact most of Asia, you understand, like 1 out of 3 people are a descendant of fucking Genghis Khan. Like most in Asia, like if and there's a way they know them. Like most Asian babies are born with. I heard, and according to what I read, and according to what I've seen, most Asian babies are born with like blue bots. So if you're born with blue bots, that means you're a descendant of Genghis Khan, and like most Asians are born with blue bots. So um there are always people that come up with ways more efficient ways of killing people, more brutal ways of killing people. And if you look back at history and then trace it from like antiquity to now, there are always ways, but yet we never they're always very efficient and diverse and interesting ways, but yet we never get to the point of absolute destruction. Like I don't know. I've seen documentaries about the atomic bomb. I've seen and I've read articles and as in read a few books about the whatever. In fact, the whole story of World War Two. And one of the things that like interests me the most is like the atomic bomb, bro. I've talked about what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki before, so I'm not going to go that much into it, but I'm just trying to like make people understand how powerful this this weapon is. That it can be able to wipe people out in like seconds. So imagine that, but it's nothing compared to the nuclear bomb. So this is what we're dealing with right now. So we have gotten to another point in time where it's looking like we are pushing it to the limit of self-destruction. But in the grand scheme of things, right? In the grand scheme of things, our fate is we have either of two fates. Either we live in perpetual peace and prosperity and tranquility and everything, and we want to go where there is no war and everybody's just kind, like basically the whole idea of heaven and stuff like that, and everybody's just boring. Or we continue on this other part where um there's constant war and everybody's alive, and there's life on the planet. Like if aliens are looking down at a very peaceful planet, they might not see much because everything might just be in one place. But if they look at like a chaotic planet and they see like everybody's fighting, the planet is run, things are happening, like oh the machine is spinning, the machine is turning, we're like that's an interesting planet to look at. And that's why we've been seeing more and more of aliens recently. Like the stories of aliens, the sightings of aliens are now becoming more rampant, and it's now being taken more seriously. It's no longer like this crazy conspiracy theory that people used to like spout in the past. Like it's now real. Like it's now we're now like you have to like give it attention, because there is this documentary I saw recently. I was like, I'm not going to watch this documentary because I have to be high to watch it. Because why would you watch like an alien documentary sober? You understand? Like you have to be in a kind of particular state of mind to be able to watch like an alien documentary. So I decided to like I said to wait. Well, I said to wait because I had heard it on Joe Rogan's podcast, and so I said to wait till I get like weed to smoke and then watch this fucking documentary about um this story about aliens that came to Brazil in 1996, bro. The name of the documentary is Moment of Contact, where aliens came to Brazil in 1996, and people saw them, and people saw them and touched them and interacted with them, and like these aliens were real and not. It was not a story from one person. It was not one account from one person. Like everybody's accounts collaborated. Everybody's account was the same, bro. Aliens actually came to Brazil. And then there's this one scene in the documentary where this man was taken back to the scene where he first saw the aliens, and this man, he's like an old man, an elderly man, and then he started crying, and then he was saying that he was speaking in Spanish that this was the place that he saw them. Like he saw them. Like the man was crying. Like that couldn't have been acting, bro. That could not have been acting. This man was crying. Like he was saying that this is the place that he saw them. He saw these people that came from another world, bro. And bro, I was high when I was watching that scene. And when the man was saying that scene and the way he was demonstrating and the way he was like his mannerism and he was crying and he was bawling his eyes out that he saw beings from another planet, bro. He saw beings from another planet and he saw them, and the smell was abhorrent, and the smell was like nasty, and it smelled like ammonia, and it was like very, very horrible smell. But he saw beings from another planet, and this man was crying, bro. I was high watching this thing, and I was also crying with this man because that cannot be a lie. There's no way that that can be a lie. Nobody, there is no paid actor that can act like that. If it's acting, you know that this is acting. But for somebody to behave that way, bro, you know that this man saw something. You know that the guy saw something. Well, this is all I have for today, man. This is all I have for today. And I know it's kind of like short, and this is not how long I usually make these episodes. I just like talking, but just occurred to me right now that there are other things I have to do, even though I would still love to like sit down and just continue talking right now, man. So, but there are other things I have to do, so that's why the episode is going to be this short. But hopefully next week Sunday I'll push out an episode, and I'll expatiate more on this stuff that I was going to talk about today. So yeah, thank you guys for chilling with me. Thank you for giving me your listening ears. Don't forget to like rate the episode, rate the podcast, and also follow me on Twitter and send me an email at generalprime14@gmail.com. This had been one hell of an episode, man. I'm glad it happened, and I'm glad I did it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. So all right, I'll talk to you guys next week. All right, bye everybody.